It's a contract with the setup. Yeah, we got our flyby king to set up there. Ja Morant looking.
Bruh, you not hard. That's not your life. You got a $200 million contract and you want people in the NBA to think you hood, to think you gangster. Because you roll with these type of people, bro, you putting yourself in harm's way when you don't have to. Nobody looks at you, John, and think, man, that's a thug. He hood. He down, he bought that. You not. Stop pretending. You're not gonna do nothing. What you're gonna do is get yourself in trouble, put yourself and your family in harm's way, and for what? For street cred?
The Memphis Grizzlies are spiraling out of control. Brandon Clark just got injured and is out for the season. Dillon Brooks just got himself suspended after his 16th tech already this season, while he's still mouthing off about the Warriors. Steven Adams is out with a right knee strain, and while all this is happening, Ja Morant is being investigated over a post he made on Instagram reportedly involving a firearm. My gut tells me he was upset about not being invited to the three-point shootout. Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Swish. Clearly, this man is actively trying to ruin his NBA career after making some decisions that so far has caused him to get suspended by the team. For a young team such as Memphis, who are currently the 2 seed, this is obviously not what they need. This is also not the first time these guys have been embroiled in controversy. A month ago, Brooks got ejected for punching Donovan Mitchell in the groin. This came just 2 weeks after this group threatened Shannon Sharpe after Sharpe told Brooks he can't guard LeBron. But wait, there's more. If you recall, Brooks had already been ejected for a broadsided charge on Gary Payton II, who was on a fast break for a guaranteed basket in a playoff game against the Warriors. With all the drama and activity surrounding Memphis, you'd think these guys would try to keep a low profile. But these young fellas are really trying to bring the hood to the NBA. We're talking about guns, social media accounts being closed, former NBA players speaking their pieces on it, which include Jalen Rose and Paul Pierce, both weighing in. Stephen A. Smith issued a warning to Ja Morant regarding the FBI and what this could mean for his future in the NBA. Shoot, they even got DeMarcus Cousins commenting. Whether or not this was a serious issue to begin with, it is now. But what started all of this? Stick around till the end to find out. There's a whole lot to unpack here. But before that, if you've been watching my videos and enjoy the content, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, that way you don't miss my latest uploads. So without further delay, let's get to it. Although it seems like this just started overnight, we're gonna go back to where this all actually started. A couple of months back, some news started circulating on social media regarding Ja Morant and some events that occurred in the off-season. Rumors basically stated that while playing some pickup ball at his house, Ja Morant allegedly got into a verbal altercation with some kid there playing ball. The argument then got heated and the 17-year-old kid threw the basketball at Ja and accidentally hit him in the face. Morant then approached the kid, put his chin on the kid's shoulder and asked one of the boys, "Should I do it to him?" After that, apparently Ja punched him in the head and then knocked him to the ground. I don't know about you, but if you hit me, by all means it's a fight, like it or love it. Apparently after the kid fell, Ja Morant kept hitting him and someone else jumped in to help. The fight was broken up shortly after and the kid said to Ja that he'd light his house up. The kid then filed a lawsuit in September. The police investigated for a few weeks and handed it over to the DA on October 4th. This wasn't reported on initially until about January 1st of this year by TMZ, who shockingly didn't have raw footage of the fight. I've since contacted their PR department for an explanation. It was then, however, that we found out that Ja Morant was being sued by the 17-year-old kid. Not a whole lot was made of the situation, however, as that somewhat died down. The Grizzlies, however, didn't exactly keep quiet as mouths were run, and Morant said he wasn't concerned about any team in the West. In a game against the Los Angeles Lakers, however, Shannon Sharpe from Undisputed was in attendance. A ruckus ensued, and that made headlines for a few days. Dave McMenamin of ESPN interviewed Shannon Sharpe, and this is what he explained. "They didn't want the smoke, Dave. They do all the talking and jockeying, and I ain't about that jockeying. It started with Dillon Brooks. I said he was too small to guard LeBron. He said F me, I said F you back. He started to come at me and I said, you don't want these problems. And then Jock came out of nowhere talking. He definitely didn't want these problems. Then the dad came in. He obviously didn't want no problems. But I wanted anything they had. Don't let these fools fool you now. The night did end with Shannon, Sharpe, and Team Morant back on good terms, and Sharpe followed up with a 3-minute apology to everyone that might have been affected by his actions, including Dillon Brooks.
I want to apologize for my behavior.
Just over a week later, they played the Pacers at the end of January, and Morant's crew aggressively confronted the Pacers' traveling party near the team's bus after the game had finished. Later on, someone in a slow-moving SUV in which Ja Morant was traveling trained a laser on the Pacers players whom were traveling in the same bus mentioned earlier. This was again investigated by the police, who were not initially called in on the matter because, according to reps from the Pacers, these guys were apparently in fear of the outcome. Not long after that, Brooks was added again, this time in a game with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was late in the third quarter of the February 2nd matchup when Dillon Brooks decided that it was an appropriate time to introduce a hammer fist to Donovan Mitchell's family jewels. Mitchell didn't agree and decided to give him a light shove and throwdown. Both players got ejected, which was a win for the Grizz, but by the end of the night, the Cavs mopped the floor with the barely there crew. The Grizzlies weren't done yet, however, as Dillon Brooks continued to get texts left and right, making a name for himself as a below-average guard with an above-average mouth. This, not coincidentally, translates to an above-average bark with a below-average bite. That's the dog in him. He actually had this to say: "I just don't like Golden State. I don't like anything to do with them." Memphis troublemaker Dillon Brooks told ESPN's Tim Keown. "I don't like Draymond Green at all. Draymond talks a lot, gets away with a lot too. His game is cool with Golden State, but if you put him anywhere else, you're not going to know who Draymond is." Looks like when Klay taunted him after the Warriors strung the Grizzlies up in the town center had gotten to him. It was around this time that the news resurfaced of Ja Morant beating up the 17-year-old. Preceding this incident, there was another altercation that took place 2 months after Golden State eliminated the Grizzlies from the playoffs. Clearly, the Warriors did some emotional damage. As the news of the summer altercation resurfaced, it followed up that Ja's mom got into an argument with an employee at Finish Line, probably because they only carried Curry. She then called her son, who showed up with 9 people. Although I suppose as a famous person, it's probably a good idea to have your own security. You can see how this could be a problem, however. The mall security director confronted them, which escalated the situation. The director asked them to leave, but Morant refused. At that point, one of Morant's boys shoved the director in his head. The report that was filed shared a bit where a veiled threat was made by Ja Morant that reads, "Let me find out what time he gets off." 4 days after that is when the incident with the 17-year-old occurred. We got some more clarity on the situation, which is that Morant went back into the house after the fight got broken up by spectators, and he came out brandishing a weapon in his waist, to which Team Morant said, "No, no, no, go back in the house." It was at this point the kid said, "I'm gonna come back and light this place up like fireworks." Morant filed a police report a few weeks later saying his family felt threatened, but prosecutors didn't find enough evidence to proceed. The 17-year-old's mother filed a suit against Morant's family, and details of the investigation boiled it down to Morant and a friend was punching the kid in the back of his head, shoulder, and face. The kid said he was getting hit like he was in an MMA fight. The suit, however, is still ongoing, but being kept under wraps, although I can't imagine there's much else in there aside from what you guys already know up to this point. As if things weren't bad enough for the Grizzlies at this point, Ja Morant went live on Instagram, reminiscent of Paul Pierce's grand departure from ESPN. The video showed a party going on in the background, and at one point shows Morant posing with a gun seemingly the night of March 3rd. That started circulating around the morning of March 4th, adding a lot of tension to a building situation. Around this time, another video started circulating dissing Ja Morant and calling him a private school gangster. Did you hear B-Rabbit's diss from 8 Mile? It went a little something like this.
Fuck I've been through, but I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook, that's a private school. What's the matter, dog? You in Paris? This guy's a gangster? His real name's Clarence. And Clarence lives at home with both parents. And Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. This guy don't want to battle, he's shook, cause ain't no such things as halfway crook.
A ton of social media backlash to the video gets Morant in hot water. It's at this point his team and the NBA get involved. The team suspended Morant for 2 games, so he missed the Clippers game on Sunday and will miss Tuesday's game versus the Lakers. On top of that, the NBA stepped in to do their own investigation, which itself is ongoing, so nothing conclusive as of yet. Morant quickly tried to do some damage control and posted this on his Instagram. I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being. With this posted, the responses and reactions came in. Ja Morant was trending all over the news and social media with Ja Wick memes popping up everywhere. Paul Pierce had this to say.
Monica, you should be here. You can make some money, girl. Stop playing.
Whoops, wrong clip. In support of Ja Morant, Pierce tweeted, "I don't care what y'all say about Ja. I carried a gun after I was stabbed. Y'all don't know what he going through. Everyone got something to say until you really know what's really going on in someone's life. When you black and you rich, you a target, period." Jalen Rose had a bit more to say with this clip.
I am Ja Morant. I've been involved in drug raids, survived assassination attempts. I've been that undisciplined young person that was trying to figure out how to be famous, how to be successful, and how to change the dynamics of my family.
Stephen A. Smith took a different approach. He compared Ja Morant to Allen Iverson, among other things.
I want to make sure that Ja Morant, his family, his friends, and everybody understands that all of us up here are fans of his. And anything that we say, myself, Will Bond, Jalen Rose, Woj, anybody, we're saying it in the best interest of his future, Ja Morant. You are a superstar. You're 23 years old. You got a deal that kicks in next year that could exceed $231 million over the next 5 years. Now ask yourself, is it really, really worth it? You know the answer to that, bro. It's not worth it. The NBA knows what you're doing. They know who you're doing it with. They know where you are. They know how you're conducting yourself at all times. Don't think they're not watching. They're always watching.
Even DeMarcus Cousins chimed in on the situation and had this to say. "Hope this shows the importance of real vets in the locker room. No young team should be without multiple veterans on the roster." Yeah, because we know the serenity that Cousins brings to a locker room. Nike then made a statement saying, "We appreciate Ja's accountability and that he is taking the time to get the help he needs. We support his prioritization of his well-being." So likely no loss of contract, and I'm certain that they are differentiating between keeping Ja and releasing Kyrie. Following up all of this, Ja Morant has shut down all his social media accounts, acting on what he said that he will be away from the team, and also away from the pressures of being a public figure. It is not sure when he will be back. It's really unfortunate because although he's an adult, let's not forget that handing over tens of millions of dollars to someone who has never known adulthood without that type of privilege at times will get you some less than appealing results. While Ja Morant could stand to be a bit more responsible, he's still a 23-year-old making more money a year than 99% of us will ever make in our lifetimes. Unless inflation decides to continue the way it's been going, that is. So on the one hand, some see this as the league being soft and that Morant should face heavier fines and possibly an extended suspension, but on the other hand, some will empathize with him and hope that he grows from this. Honestly, I'd prefer to see him in the league for years to come. I look forward to the Warriors-Grizzlies matchups, and it most definitely wouldn't be the same without the talented young point guard. What kind of reprimand do you think Ja Morant should face for his actions? Can the Grizzlies actually shed this reputation and regain respect? Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.
I mean, he's got the ultimate care factor. He's got an unbelievable heart. Obviously, these are, tough times for him, tough times for the organization, but you've got to really peel back and understand the person that he is. He's a generally amazing person, great family person, as you talk about, as a father, brother, son, member of our community. This is a tough time for a young kid that's got to grow and get better.